Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. As an English teacher, absolutely nothing thrills me more than seeing you guys truly master the subtle, kind of overlooked nuances of the language. Today, we're taking your advanced English precision to the absolute next level. We're going to tackle two tiny words that pack a massive, highly nuanced punch. I'm talking about quite and rather.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Just think about these two sentences for a second. She is quite famous versus she is rather famous. Now, on the surface, I know, they look almost entirely identical, right? But to a native speaker, they send two incredibly different messages. It's like a secret code. Today, we're going to decode this little grammatical mystery together. Here's our game plan for today. We'll look at the two faces of quite, then see how rather brings the unexpected. After that, we'll hit the essential placement rules, do some side-by-side comparisons, and finish up with special cases and common mistakes. All right, part one. The two faces of quite.
So, this word is notoriously tricky. Honestly, even native speakers trip up on it sometimes, because it literally has a split personality. Its whole meaning shifts depending on the exact context you put it in. The first face of quite acts as a moderator. When it's used like this, it means less than very, but a bit more than just a little. Its job is to kind of soften the adjective it sits next to. So say I tell you, it's quite cold, you better grab a coat. I'm saying it's noticeably cold, but it isn't freezing. Or if I say, I quite like tennis, I'm signaling that, I like it moderately, it's fine, but I'm absolutely not obsessed with it.
But here is where it gets super fascinating. The second phase of quite is the absolute phase. When you pair this little word with specific, strong adjectives, it suddenly means completely or totally, like literally 100%. If I say, well, that is quite impossible, I definitely don't mean it's moderately impossible. I mean it is totally, fundamentally impossible. No way around it.
Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is that the secret to knowing exactly which face of quite you're dealing with all comes down to the adjective itself. If we pair quite with weaker adjectives, words like good, nice, cold, or famous, it acts as that moderator we just talked about. It just means fairly or moderately. But the exact second we pair it with stronger, absolute concepts like sure, right, true, or impossible, bam, it transforms into an absolute, meaning completely or totally. So if you look me in the eye and say, I am quite sure, you are telling me you are 100% sure.
Moving on to part two, rather, the unexpected and negative.
Now that we've got a handle on quite, we really need to look at its partner in crime. Rather carries a very specific, and honestly, sometimes incredibly surprising, emotional weight. Structurally, rather is a moderator, meaning it functions a whole lot like quite. But here is the absolutely crucial distinction you need to remember. It very often carries a negative connotation, or brings this subtle sense of something being unexpected. We use it all the time alongside negative ideas to signal how we truly feel about a situation. Let's look at an example. Imagine someone saying, it's rather cold in here. Can we turn up the heat? In this context, rather is basically voicing a negative complaint. The speaker isn't just making some neutral, scientific observation about the room temperature. No, they're subtly telling you they are unhappy. It instantly implies, I'm physically uncomfortable right now, and this is bad news. But hold on, because English absolutely loves its exceptions. We can actually use rather with positive words too. And when we do, it actively expresses a pleasant surprise. Like, these oranges are rather nice. Where did you get them? Here, the speaker is basically saying, these oranges are unusually good. They're definitely way nicer than they ever expected when they picked them up. Let's literally smash these two concepts together in one sentence to really highlight the nuance. Listen to this combination. She's quite intelligent, but rather lazy. Did you catch what happened there? Quite intelligent is a completely neutral positive statement, just a moderate compliment. But then that second half, but rather lazy, uses rather to drop a sharp negative critique. The speaker is revealing their underlying dissatisfaction. It's just a brilliant way to express highly complex feelings in a few short words, right? Okay, part three, essential placement rules. Because let's be real, knowing what these words mean is really only half the battle. Knowing where to physically put them in a sentence, that's the secret handshake of advanced English speakers. So the crucial point is how these modifiers interact with the articles a and an, along with nouns. Usually, we just plop them directly before the adjective or adverb. But when a or an is involved, both quite and rather strictly go before the article. For instance, we say it was quite a surprise. You would absolutely never say a quite surprise.
Same goes for the other one. That's rather a long way to walk. However, rather has this unique flexibility that quite just doesn't share. Look at this comparison. You can easily say it's a rather nice day, or it's rather a nice day. Putting it right after the A is completely 100% grammatically correct. Rather gives you options, whereas quite rigidly demands you follow the strict rule of staying in front of the article.
Oh, and we can also use these modifiers beautifully with verbs. While it's a bit more common with quite, they both work wonderfully to express degrees of feeling. If I quite like classical music, I like it somewhat. If I rather enjoy gardening on the weekends, it means I enjoy it considerably more than people might expect. But pay special attention to that last point. Quite agree. This is a super common phrase that means you completely, absolutely agree. Like, I quite agree with you. All right, part 4, side-by-side comparisons.
Now for my absolute favorite part of the lesson. This is the ultimate tool for us today, back-to-back comparisons to really drill these grammatical nuances right into your memory. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how swapping out just one single word completely changes the entire tone of a sentence. The room is quite warm is a neutral observation. You're just stating a fact. It's fairly warm. But the room is rather warm instantly transforms into a negative complaint. You are loudly signaling that it is uncomfortably warm and you are not happy about it. Let's try another one. I challenge you to feel the subtle emotional shift here. The test was quite easy means it was fairly easy, a thoroughly neutral statement. But the test was rather easy carries a surprising or even critical weight. It heavily implies the test was maybe a bit too easy, and you're either surprised or kind of criticizing the lack of a challenge. Let's move on and see how this builds when we bring strong adjectives into the mix. Look at how the adjective changes the whole game for quite. I'm quite tired means you're moderately tired, but change tired to the absolute adjective exhausted, and suddenly I'm quite exhausted means you are completely, utterly wiped out. The modifier shifts its entire identity just to match the sheer intensity of the word right next to it. And finally, part 5, special cases and mistakes. We've reached the final exam section of our explainer. We're covering those highly common pitfalls that routinely trap even very advanced learners, and I want to make absolutely sure you avoid them. First, think of this next concept as a mental flashcard you should commit to memory right now. The phrase not quite means almost, but not completely. If a student tells me I don't quite understand, it tells me they get most of the lesson, but not quite all of it. Or if I ask, are you ready? And you say, not quite, you're almost there, but not fully 100%. And here is my ultimate teacher's remedy for you. A super common mistake in formal writing is using quite when you actually mean very. So my pro tip for you today is this. Consciously save quite for moderating or for absolute meanings, and use very when you want strong emphasis. Honestly, it will instantly elevate the precision and professionalism of your writing. So, to wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you pondering a final test question to see if you've truly mastered the nuance. If I say you are quite brilliant versus rather brilliant, which one implies I'm pleasantly surprised by you? Think all the way back to our lesson on positive words and unexpected outcomes. You now have the advanced precision to know the exact difference. Take this new knowledge, apply it to your very next conversation, and just enjoy the subtle, incredible power of advanced English. Keep studying, and I'll see you next time.